So we should start with this small activity of the New Year's Eve. I just want to wish you a good year, to have a good year. Happy New Year. According to the Tibetan system, we enter today in the tiger year, uh, the, the tiger of water in reality, this year. And the idea underlying here is that every time there is a change of year, be it in the solar calendar, Western solar calendar, be it in the lunar calendar, Eastern lunar calendar, there is always this idea that we are in a period of transition. And the periods of transition, they are very powerful by nature. But reflecting over this uh, change of year, we decided to call this cycle of lectures New Year, New Mind, because this idea of changing the year is basically a human concept. In reality, the year doesn't change. There will be no automatic change in the world because of this change in the calendar. It's important that we understand this. For instance, the trees, the mountains don't have this idea of changing the year. Not even our body doesn't have this idea of changing years. So this idea, when we say, oh, new year, new mind, there will be no new life or new mind if we don't change positions, like, or disposition, our disposition. It's a basic principle of cause and effect. So it's very important, this idea of changing our way of perceiving life, look at life, and to see an effective change. If not, year after year, we do our commitments of changing lives, changing our life, but nothing will change effectively until we lose the confidence in our own promises to change. So the only effective change that doesn't have to do with at all with the idea of changing year, and the only one that is guaranteed independently of our ideas, is that now that a year passed by, just I'm sorry, I have to give you this news. We have less 1 year of life. The only change that happens is that day by day, each moment that passes by, the nature of our body is gradually to get old and to disaggregate. So some of us have the blessing to reach to an advanced age, and unfortunately many of others don't have these circumstances. But if you want to have this more significant change in our life, this implies a change of mentality, a change of paradigm. So today I remembered to talk to you about a very interesting topic, because many questions arrived during this week. How to deal with all these difficulties that seem to happen constantly and successively. So when I was thinking how to deal with these difficulties, one of the things that our community had as a response to this situation is to have some days of prayers for the world peace. So we need to understand how our prayers and our meditation can affect effectively the world and to change it. So In many of the explanations that I gave, finally there came to mind a phrase of a friend of mine. When 11 years, he said something that he had heard from someone, which can serve as a topic for our approach today. If we take this decision to be a safe harbor in a periods of crisis, to be this safe harbor, first for ourselves, and then to our family, to our friends, to our society. But if we don't learn to be a safe harbor for ourselves, it's extremely difficult to offer this safety and security for the others. And first I will say this phrase of my friends, and then we will continue to explore. He said, a man with faith can achieve little, but a man without faith, he cannot achieve nothing at all. Sometimes you may think that to have faith or confidence in some principles may be to be may seem to be very weak, but without this confidence, then definitely will not do anything at all. So we need to think that facing these moments of crisis, we may have two postures, two attitudes. One is the attitude of being uh, completely incapable, of feeling incapable to have any kind of response. This is one possibility. Or to think we can take this determination not to feel powerless in front of difficulties and to use these difficulties to grow as human beings. There are several responses, responses that may be productive and beneficial for ourselves and for the others. So I would like to say two things that Buddha said. It's to start like designing our lecture today. He said to be your best friend, be your best protector, be your best master, teacher. So in facing these crisis moments, it's extremely important to be our best friends. What a friend does, normally a friend wishes that people that they like to be happy, that they are well. A basis for a better world and a better society is to start to have this capacity to have a good relationship with ourselves and to know how to create this emotional stability uh, required to be well in any situation, like a friend that knows to protect their friends at the emotional level, etc., and in that way to have a more tranquil response and functional, first to himself and then to the others. So someone uh, I have to address some specific questions. He said, facing this problem of the war, we feel completely overwhelmed with this sadness and completely crushed. The person even said that he was guilty, felt guilty of smiling or eating or something like this. This feeling of guilty is a form of attachment to negativity. We have to admit that it has little impact or beneficial or benefit for the people that are passing through the suffering of war. If you don't smile for your kids or your friends and you get depressed, we have here some problems, several problems. One of the problems is that this doesn't improve the condition of people in Ukraine, and on top of that, it worsens the condition and also your relation with your family, friends, etc. So we have to choose between being the part of solution or part of the problem. If our option is to be part of the solution, we need to take the responsibility to be empowered in front of these situations. and to gain this capability of being a safe harbor for ourselves, then for our family, then for our people around us and our society in general. This doesn't mean not having compassion. It means to have compassion, but with wisdom. We need this compassion that don't get you crushed, uh, smashed, but the compassion that makes you to gain capacity and power. So I would like to present this in several distinct degrees. And the first thing is that if we want to create a better world, this better world, it's only possible if it is composed by better people. We have this responsibility for the common benefit to become better people. So first thing, at the long term, if we look at all the situations of human suffering, they come from what we call negative emotions. We call this in Dharma. In facing these negative emotions or the suffering of the others, also come the our negative emotions. Then we are adding negativity to this, and then we are part of the problem. For instance, if I say that there are people in starvation and I feel guilty for eating, and if I stop eating for because of I have empathy for the people that don't have food to eat, soon I will not be able to help anyone. Sometimes to be able to help people that cannot eat or are not able to eat for any reason, we have to eat. We need to take care of ourselves. It's not only a matter of attitude. You can eat by these selfish attitudes, to sleep with a selfish attitude also, only concerned about you, your well-being, your health, or you can eat and sleep concerned with others. You can take care of yourself and your relatives with this altruistic attitude. You need to be strong and healthy to be able to help them. So if we see, even in the medium long term, it's more useful to take care of ourselves emotionally, physically, as a way of maintaining capable to be able to contribute for the solution. So that is the first stage, let's say. Secondly, is when you are this safe harbor for yourself. You are also the safe harbor for the people that are more dependent upon you, directly dependent upon you. Let's use this simple model example. If you have a family, you have kids, wife or husband, if you let to be like, if you are get destroyed by this problem of Ukraine, for instance, you will also destroy your kids, your family. So you are teaching that to be compassionate is to be destructive to yourself. So, but if you learn to be able to maintain this tranquility and compassion, you are someone who can be this safe harbor for himself. And in times of crisis, and your kids and your family see you as this shelter that maintains this tranquility and this well-being. First thing is that this is immediately beneficial for them, but also teaches them the qualities of a more compassionate vision. It doesn't teach by speaking, it teaches by your example that resonates these qualities that the human being can have to be calm and to maintain this lucidity. In reality, it's very interesting that you need this kindness. You need this kindness to be more happy, to be emotionally balanced, but also this kindness needs a certain tranquility to be exercised, because if you maintain this stability, you lose the capacity to act for the benefit of the others. So sometimes, let me just tell this, maybe this is a bit harsh. Sometimes we have so much attachment to our emotions that we think that to feel guilty is much more important than to help the others. It's a way of attachment. Oh, I'm so sad with the Ukraine war. Not, please, my kids shouldn't even ask me for their breakfast. People don't around me. They shouldn't ask for my help because now I am so attached to this problem. So this is not part of solution, but I am indulging in the attachment to this seriousness of the problem. So sometimes the more altruistic vision is to say, okay, I know that there is this problem, but I will learn to have more space. I don't have to deny what I'm feeling, but I need to have space in my mind, not to take this so seriously, this my emotion, to completely be drowned by this problem, this situation. In a certain way, I know several people that are afraid of having compassion because they think that to have compassion is to be drowned by these problems. So they think that it's better not to have compassion. It's We should pass this teaching for many people because people think that, oh, I'm so depressed because I'm with very a lot of compassion. I'm compassionate, but this lucid calmness makes me more functional. So you are serving society in long term because people around you will understand that to be compassionate and kind is intelligent and functional, and you are sowing seeds of kindness. So in the medium long term, each time that we are a good example in our people around you, in our community, we are sowing a seed, a good seed. So we have the option of having impact and not feeling powerless. It's true. We can talk at this level. Maybe you are not having impact in Ukraine or in Africa or hundreds or thousands of other situations that simply the media do not put the attention on. But it's important that this confusion, global confusion, will not create you even more confusion, like more cause of more confusion even more. It's very sad if the confusion and war in Ukraine becomes a confusion inside you and your family or among friends, because sometimes they may have some different visions or positions. So in that way, we are not part of the solution, we are part of the problem. So in immediate terms, short term, we should say that to maintain this certain calm and lucidity, then I may think, how can I take decisions that affect positively these more negative situations? So it's extremely important to remind this phrase of my friends. He says that if you have faith, you can do little, but if you don't have faith, you don't do anything at all. Like, this is the sense of confidence in your capabilities. This is what means faith, confidence that it's possible to build a better world. But not only that, I don't know if you had this experience. This will be difficult to explain in short time, but I'll do my best. I don't know if you know this, if you had this experience of approaching someone that this person doesn't even have to talk for you to feel good. It's just you just need to look, and you may feel a certain resonance, a certain tranquility, or certain well-being that makes you feeling good. All of us have this capacity to resonate, to vibrate, to have this good vibration and impact the others. Mahatma Gandhi said some phrase that also makes me happy. It says, um, um, there are people that sorry, I didn't get the phrase exactly, but it's like the people that there were very mean people that, but they always in dictators, I think, and but they always have fallen down. But kindness and compassion always wins in the long term. So sometimes we may be a bit naive and to think that our personal peace doesn't create an impact in the world around us, but it creates an impact in the world around us. Our personal peace, inner peace. Our inner peace gives us courage. I'll not use this word resilience because I know people don't. Some people don't like it. Someone explained me that, but we may say that the cause of this kindness that gives us this courage, so we may understand that to affect positively the society around ourselves. And without this courage, we may sometimes take decisions that are extremely crucial for an effective change in our world. One extremely important thing before starting to direct to a more practical aspect is to think that situations of crisis should not bring the worst of us to the top. Let me be a bit provocative. The external Putin shouldn't provoke the inner Putin that is in myself. If not, the world will be full of Putins, and this is a big problem. And what is our internal Putin? Is when we think that ones that don't think like us should be eliminated. When we allow for this intolerance to rise, the luck of this world is that no one is in charge of a great a great country like Russia, superpotency. So sometimes we only bomb our wife or husband with our weapons of argumentation or aggressivity, with bombs of verbal bombs, of postures and attitudes. But sometimes we are equally dangerous. If we would be in charge of a great country like Russia, we could do maybe these same things. So we'll never be part of solution if we look like this. Look at these situations through the angle of the anger. So even today, I was telling a story, a Tibetan story, that the general said that I prefer to die than to take this sword and to use the sword moved by rage. But be like whatever weapon you use, be it verbal or physical, from the moment that you take your sword, moved by the desire or the wish to punish the other, you may say that there is a bit of Putin in you. So we will add problems. The only way to the solution that we need desperately for this world that was proposed by His Holiness Dalai Lama is to weaponization, to eliminate the weapons. That we need for the countries to stop investing in weapons. But we'll never reach this level if we as individuals do not pass through this internal personal same personal process like the equivalent to eliminate our weapons. We cannot ask for the leaders to do what we cannot do at our domestic level. If I refuse to eliminate my weapons when I'm with my wife and kids. How can I ask for the world leaders that at their scale they use the strategy that I refuse to use? So world leaders are human beings as me, like with the same negative emotions, same conditioning, same patterns of thought. They are a bit more exposed. Yes, it's true. As Nagarjuna said, a great Buddhist practitioner, he said, I pray not to be reborn as a politician because the decisions that I will take will affect many people and the negative karma of my decisions will be extremely heavy. So it's extremely important to understand that the only way to change the world is to change myself. As Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change that you think that the world needs. Do not wait for the others to change. And most of all, as we said in the center today, do not be willing to die for a cause. Instead, be willing to live for a cause. Be willing to live for the freedom. Then it's preferable to live for the freedom than to die for the freedom. Do not be willing to die for a more fair world, but be more willing to live in a fair world and not to die for a fair world. The same applies. Do not be. It's more difficult to live for a more compassionate and world than to die for a more compassionate world. Because because we need to pass through this process of disweaponization of ourselves. If we are interested, then the natural question is, how can you do this? So there are several paths for how to do this, but I would say that the first thing is anything that we do starts by in our minds and with the wish to do this. Tibetans say this desire to do something positive, they call it monlam. Mon means aspiration and lam means the path. So this is a path of aspiration. You start by aspiring to something, wishing something. If you do not aspire to something, obviously you will not do anything at all. So first thing is to have a strong aspiration, a strong wish. This is a vast topic, talk of this strong aspiration. But the first tool to generate this aspiration, strong aspiration, is to look at the world as through this principle of cause and effect. If I identify well what are the causes of suffering and identify in a lucid way what are the causes of happiness, it's natural that there is an aspiration that comes of reducing what is negative and increasing what is positive. What is positive are the causes of happiness, and what is negative are the causes of suffering. And we need to look to the world from this perspective of cause and effect. So when there is one aspiration, when this genuine aspiration arises, so Tibetans like to do these prayers, aspirative prayers, aspiration prayers. They, they, it's important that you express this attitude, this desire, this wish, with your hands, with your speech, and with your mind concentrated. We have these three levels. Each one of us has the body. Even people that don't have the camera turned on, they have the one body. I'm sure. Maybe that is the problem. They have they speak or they have some sort of speech or a field of expression and a mind. So our aspiration should be invoked and concentrated through our body, speech, and mind. The mind concentrates and directs all its energy for this aspiration. Speech pronounces these aspirations, and the body assumes something that is supportive of this aspiration. Many people will say that the hell is full of good intentions. How can my good intentions change something? If you have never seen this, is because your intentions are not strong enough. I have to contribute a bit. Together with your aspirations, it's important to have a conduct that supports your aspirations. For instance, if you pray for the peace in the world peace, and we are fighting with everybody around us, obviously our aspirations are not aligned with our conduct. Or if you say, whatever you believe, be it God, be it enlightened beings, or if you pray for world peace, but then you are aggressive to the minimal adversity, then your aspirations they don't have a possibility to come true, let's say. So we need to adapt our conduct to our aspirations in our way of speaking, thinking, and acting physically. How will I learn to reduce the violent thinking and aggressive? We may ask, what is the cause of my aggressivity? This cause of aggressivity is my attachment. If I have attachment to an ideology, I have aversion for the other's ideologies. So if I have attachment for one religion, I have aversion for the ones that don't have the same convictions. That's why Buddha said that the ones that have attachment to Dharma, they are not qualified to teach the Dharma. We cannot teach the Dharma because you want to convert people to Dharma because of attachment and aversion for the other religions. Each time there is a dogmatic attitude, it is cause of violence. That's why religions sometimes they like to say that they are cause of peace, but any dogmatic posture is cause of violence. Because we have dogmatic posture, we don't even need reasons to believe in what we believe. If we don't need reasons for what we believe, there is no possible dialogue. Even someone if presents some logic arguments, you will not want um, to to argue, and you will have an attitude, a very aggressive attitude, instead of trying to understand the others' point of view. So we need to learn to reduce our rage, our attachment. So any form of attachment, the attachment to the patriotism, to nationalism. I'm not saying that it's bad to be like to have a pride for your nation, but this attachment for this idea, attachment to your nation, makes you base for your for the conflict, makes you a problem for this situation. And also this comes from ignorance. Of course, if I would talk about ignorance, this would open a great topic. Like the most subtle form of ignorance is this attachment that I have about myself, to the idea of myself. We have attachment for the ones that favor my idea of myself, and we have aversion for the ones that put into question this idea that I have about myself, that question myself. So if we want to reduce the rage, we need to reduce the attachment, and if we want to reduce attachment, we need to reduce the ignorance. But ignorance is not this academic type of ignorance. There are a lot of university professors that they have a lot of ignorance uh, because they have attachment to their status, a lot of things. So when we understand that all of this is cause of suffering, we generate this aspiration to have this, and then to have this conduct in harmony with the aspiration. So these ingredients for the change is aspirations, sometimes we call it aspiration prayers, conduct in harmony with the prayers. And we need a third ingredient, we call it together supportive circumstances. If you have a good seed, you need earth, water, nutrients. For instance, if you have this aspiration of having a better society, we need a conduct in harmony with that, and we need to know what are the acts non to sow seeds without being stingy. So, for instance, when you want to sow, I don't know if you ever seen it in movies. Sometimes when we sow, we throw thousands of seeds. You just spread it abundantly, these seeds, for some to grow. Some of us are a bit stingy. We say, "Oh, I put a seed of, I saw a seed of money, and then it didn't get any result." But we need to. Sometimes you need to throw a lot of seeds for some to grow. So we need to sow acts of kindness, not the word randomly. We need to spread these randomly acts of kindness. Kindness of thinking in speech and body. Kindness in thinking is to think about the suffering of people. Then speech, we need to talk in a constructive and positive way, and body means to have a gentle conduct, to be generous. There would be many things, but this is just a bit a little dissertation, because there would be many things to talk about this. If we have this aspiration, we concentrate all our intention, energy is concentrated in one direction. We have a conduct in harmony with this, and we create supportive circumstances. Then we can see our actions in intentions to have a result. But for that, we need to reverse this strangely human tendency to focus on negativity. It's an interesting phenomenon, is that when there are good things occurring, we tend to focus on negative happenings and negative occurrences. So sometimes it seems that the world is much worse than it is. Let me ask, how many of us are afraid that now, just now, we are afraid of someone entering to our house, our home, and to steal us and kill us? Is there someone with this fear here right now in this Zoom conference? I don't think so. I think people are not afraid of this. So if you think well about, for instance, this, there's a certain level where this sanity is superior to the insanity. So because this is very unlikely to happen. I'll do some exercise now that I will. I'll propose to yourself. So first start by thinking of something positive that someone did to you during this past week. Please, it can be very small things. May it be like the smile of your kid, some like the cup of water that your wife or husband brought to you when they don't have this obligation to do it. But while you review this situation, uh, try to have this feeling of gratitude and to be satisfied for something, someone to look at you with caring, yeah. Yet don't you are not invisible for this person. And if you recall this, your mind relaxes your body, and now you may feel willingness to retribute, to give back, and to say, "Oh, so good that to think that this so good that this person to be could be happy and stuff like this." And and also after this, after generating this feeling for this person, we may irradiate this same feeling for people, other people, for people around us. So if we start feeling about positive things that happen to us and in this world, we start to have certain gratitude and appreciation, which is the base for kindness. This is the first exercise that I would like for you to do every day, because it doesn't take much time, as you could see. It took 1 minute with explanations. Next, we need to go a bit deeper in this kind of exercise when we learn to contact with our feelings. Even in moments of crisis, and if we want to be this safe harbor and to be able to protect ourselves and to learn to protect our minds, then we are protecting all the others. So first thing, there's a very old Buddhist practice in which we can simply think about four things. We sit, we relax a bit, and then we may think, may I be happy? And when you say to yourself, may I be happy, do not think much, but just enter in contact with what is to be happy. Like, it may be like the mundane happiness of having the comfort that you need, but also feeling good, a more internal happiness, to feel appreciated. Uh, so when you say, "May I be happy," use the word to enter in touch with this kind of aspiration, this kind of sensation. You may also imagine, "May I be happy," and try to feel this tranquility. You may say this the times you want. It's important that you feel it. This is what is important. Then after a bit you may think, may I feel safe? Yeah. So try to think of the different levels of safety, not only the external safety, because as the example that I gave, we don't have many reasons to feel externally safe, to unsafe. But now with the pandemics and war, etc., there are certain reasons for us to feel unsafe. So may I feel safe in the world, in the relations in which I have. When you say that, may I be safe, wish this for yourself. This is to generate kindness to yourself. As the same as you say that to be happy, may I be safe or feel safe. It's an exercise of kindness to yourself. Then you may think after, oh, may I be healthy. May I put health of body, speech, and existentially healthy also. And finally, may I live and die in tranquility, in peace. How fantastic would it be to live in tranquility? Uh, then when I die, to die in tranquility. This is the kind of attitude to cultivate kindness to yourself. Then after doing this, think in someone that you like a lot, your parents, your kids, your wife or husband. And now that you are in contact with these four basic points of kindness to yourself, then think of your person that you like, and then you think, may you be happy. When you think, may you be happy, you may use even the name of that person. May you be happy. Someone that did something to you, good for you. You like this person because this person did something good for you. Feel this bit of kindness, and then you radiate, like you exhaled kindness towards this person. May you feel or be safe or feel safe. May you be healthy. May you live and one day die in tranquility. It may appear to be strange, but to wish a good death for people, but all of us will have to die. With war, without war, we will have to die. Then think about a friend that is passing through some problems, some difficult times. Someone that you like much but is passing through some difficulties, and then do the same exercise. May you be happy. May you feel safe. May you be healthy. May you live and die in peace. Then think about some neighbor that you don't even know his name. You see this person almost every day in the public transports, in the coffee shop. You know who this person is, but you don't know anything about this person. Then, but then think that you know something about this person. Is that this person wants to be happy as much as you, wants as much as you to be safe or to feel safe, and also to be healthy, and to one day to live and one day to die in peace. And now generally bring to your from your heart, and then wish that may you be happy, may you be feel safe, may you be healthy, may you live and die in peace, in tranquility. And now this will be the difficult part to finish the exercise. Think of someone that you don't like at all. You don't like this person. Someone you hate. Think about Putin, for instance, or Zelensky. I don't know what sides. What are your preferences? And think. You may think. But I will wish. You may think. Oh, but I will. I wish to for Putin to be happy. Obviously, the problem is that Putin has is that he's not happy. Someone that would be genuinely happy doesn't make war. When do you make a war or with your wife or kids? Is it when you are happy or when you are frustrated? So the best way to end with our enemies is to make them happy. So think in relation to Putin or anyone that you wish, may you be happy. May you feel safe, which because obviously it doesn't feel safe. May you be healthy. Obviously is not having an healthy attitude. May you live in tranquility that you don't live now, right now, and one day to die in peace, and then to irradiate from the depths of your heart. This for the people that you don't like. Sometimes there are particular cases that I will not address that may be more difficult than the others. But this is one idea. What if you ask what is the advantage of this? Is that first advantage is that when you have a more compassionate attitude, you are more being kind for yourself. You are healing your own wounds, your own stress, your own fear, your own anxiety, and through kindness you start to tranquilize these problems. There is a very interesting change in our mind and also in the body. There are several studies that prove that our body is connected to experience this kindness. If you don't feel this kindness, you will not be able to develop. There are stories of people that didn't have this have the opportunity to get this kindness from early age or from newborn. They had profound problems, even physical problems. So as His Holiness Dalai Lama said, we may we may disregard religion, politics, maybe even study and meditation. But something that we should not disregard is kindness. So if you want to take care about your mental and physical health, you need to generate kindness to yourself and for the others also. But the consequence of this is that what your kids and family will recall about you will be this kindness that is the safe harbor, that is accommodative, that someone that can accommodate all situations. So if you have these qualities, you'll be accommodative in your family, in your job, in your with your friends, and it will be highly therapeutic. To be highly therapeutic. So it's extremely useful. It may not appear to be so, but it's extremely useful to be able to train ourselves in resounding, vibrating this kindness. And finally, I would like to nod for the ones that lasted till the last moment of this lecture. You may ask, can this affect people that are living in miles away from me? And why not? I know that now it's difficult for us to understand this, but sometimes someone that is profoundly tranquil and resounding kindness may be more for the society than this raged speech. Like sometimes this raged speech of an activist may create more problems for society. Some of the things that I've witnessed, even in Alentejo where we are living, is that if I have an inflamed speech defending vegetarianism, or the only thing that I'll create is resistance. I have the pretension to appear to be activist, but this activism only creates problems. If, on the other side, I maintain my conduct, correct conduct of what I think that is correct. Do not make great speeches, but people think, see that I'm kind, that I'm relaxed, that then people will get interested for your way of living. They are more receptive for what you may want to say. So what really is lacking in this world is people that may resound kindness. Today I just read a message in a Buddhist group on Facebook thanking for the practices that they know the others are doing for themselves, because this supports them mentally, it supports them. But, but this is what we need to resonate in Ukraine. What the best that there is in the Ukrainians, but also in the Russians, when our example is to make this vibration, to vibrate our intolerance, then we make this uh, we are vibrating the causes of suffering in ourselves and in the others. I don't want to enter into these very esoteric explanations. Our mind and the others are not so separate. That's why we affect each other. If we would be inherently other, we would be unrelatable. So there are profound reasons why our mental state can affect the mental state of other person. We are not so separate. So obviously we don't have conscience of this interconnectivity. But I'm conscious, I believe that if we would sufficiently kindness and compassion, this would resound and vibrate and have this impact and butterfly effects in the society around ourselves. Even in the natural world, it's not uncommon if you study the literature, spiritual literature, of people that were hired to kill certain practitioners because they were uh, uh, like the society around them, they wanted them to be killed, and it's not uncommon for this hired killer, just by looking at the practitioner, to be uh, to change the attitudes and to become their disciple. The problem for ourselves is that we are willing to die for the well-being of beings, but we are not willing to live for the well-being of beings. We are willing to take this weapon to kill with the ones that don't think like us, but we are not willing to cultivate kindness and compassion to the point that we can change the others. So we need to look at life of some at the lives of some masters like Gachen Rinpoche. They were 20 years or something being tortured by Chinese, but their resonance, their vibration continues to affect all the beings that contact with him, directly or indirectly. So there is not nothing these masters achieve that we cannot achieve. Also, it's one of the brilliant and unique thing that masters of Tibetan tradition is that the ones that survived in a healthy way, free from trauma, and become a very positive effect for society in general, were the ones that generated compassion for their own aggressors. So when people ask me, is there any proof that in questions of trauma, profound trauma, of abuse, meditation can work? Yes, there are. A whole generation of Buddhist, Tibetan Buddhism practitioners that despite passing through abuse and torture that are inconceivable for ourselves, by using Dharma to strengthen their attitude of compassion, they liberated themselves from suffering. They calmed down the life of people, of many people, and nowadays they still are a positive point for many people. So if you think that to be depressed facing these difficulties is a good solution, then okay, go away. But obviously we'll be part of the problem. We are becoming part of the problem, or we may choose to become part of solution. For that, it is only required to be willing to live for the cause and not to die for the cause. Obviously, to live for the cause implies every day to sit your butt and to develop compassion and kindness, to develop this muscle of compassion. So sometimes it's easier to die for a cause than to say, okay, no, I will make this effort daily to generate aspirations, to have a conduct with this in harmony with these aspirations, to solve supportive circumstances, to apply myself to develop compassion for myself and the others until I have the power of compassion of these great masters, until I become a great master. For some of us, strangely, it's more easy to die for the cause than to live for the cause. So I suggest that we may read biographies of some of these great masters, how they faced torture in the concentration camps, like, physical torture, starvation, death, and how they became a safe harbor for themselves. And then nowadays they are the support and refuge, safe refuge for thousands of people, and the inspiration of thousands of people. Three of them I know personally, and all of them said that they were destroying themselves, having resentment towards the Chinese, thinking, "Oh, I did not I didn't do anything bad for anyone." And while they got these justifications to feel this anger, their life would be a torture. When they started to understand the process of Dharma, their life became, as Gershon Rinpoche said, when they sent me away from prison, I became upset because finally the prison was the best retreat center for me to develop my potentialities. So this power is not the power of Gashen Rinpoche. For the even, of course, I have great respect for Gashen Rinpoche and many others. This is the power of our Buddha nature and the instructions of Dharma. And I'll say this again, just to close, to wrap up. We only need to have this courage to live for the cause. We don't need to be willing to die for anything. You just want to live. Don't die for the Ukrainians. Live for the Ukrainians. But live as a flag of compassion, of kindness that makes this world better. This is my message of New Year's, in which it's not the year that changes, it's your mind that changes. We don't need to change the year, we need to change our mind. So it may be an extreme strategy to change our mind. If we would be all Portuguese, I would sing this song of António Variações, a Portuguese artist, which is a change life. For the Portuguese, I I'll give you this advice to see the lyrics. For the English speaking, I may translate. I can be able to translate it, but certainly there are other songs that show the importance of changing mentality. As this Portuguese song says, that if you are not satisfied, change your life. It's important to change for better, and to change for the better is only to change according to our true nature. Each time we change for the worse, we are getting apart from our true nature. We are becoming more artificial. Because as it is proved, even from the neurological point of view, our nature is to be affectionate, to be kind. So this is a bit of my suggestion. I don't know if someone wants to make a question, to argue, or to tell some story. In which sometimes you may see how the power of our courage of maintaining an attitude of kindness may have a great impact, not only in our life, but also in the ones that apparently do not like us. That's the power of patience. Sometimes we may change even the lives of the ones that don't like us. But we need to have this extremely courage attitude. I'll say this and then I'll finish. An extremely important phrase. We need to have this type of kindness, as it says in 37 practice of Bodhisattva. In 37 practice, yeah. Even if someone that you took care as a son gets anger at you and wants to kill you, you need to develop even more compassion. Like treating a sick son, you need to have this kind of compassion towards this person. If you have this attitude, certainly will be a fundamental piece of change in this world. So if you like extreme sports, this is the most extreme that you can get. If sometimes you thought that you have to do this extreme change in your life, you become extremely compassionate, and you see that it is only not only extremely extreme for you, but extreme for your family and for people around you. This is the kind of change of life that is worth to do. Okay, the coin the credit is finishing for this lecture. I don't know if someone wants to say something. If not, I just want to wish you a good year, a good new year, to have a good new year. It's not worth it to feel powerless. Today we may practice in benefit of all the ones that are in conflict. And we will be helping finishing with this phrase of my friend, if you don't have faith, if you have faith, you may do little, and by doing little, you'll change for the better your life and the ones around you. If you don't have faith at all, you will not do nothing at all. Not even your life you'll be able to um, to to change or to take care. So this is my reflection about how to become a safe harbor in times of crisis for yourself and for the others. Then, okay, bye bye. Obrigado.